Happy Friday to you, NIO fam. It's Friday, March 27th, 2026. It's about 5 minutes before noon here Central Time as I'm recording this video. NIO stock is trading at about $5.44 right now. This is on very low volume, less than 15 million shares traded here during the day. We'll actually come back to this because I want to go a little bit deeper on NIO and then do a comparison and a recap from last week because I called something and was correct on it, at least in part. And maybe I was wrong on something too. But anyway, this is also happening. ES9 teasers, you better believe it. And oh yeah, the 5th gen swap stations, testing, pilot project. I think they've got, 5 to 10 pilot stations between May and June. Firefly, obviously being tested there. Oh yeah, and this too. Not only will we see the Onvo L80 coming out, but now we've also gotten this, and this is a nod to the rural model, which by the way was the last video I did. I'll try and remember to link that here in case you haven't seen it. The last, I would argue the last 2+ videos that I've dropped have been bangers. So, and thick with research. So if you haven't checked them out, it might be worth checking them out, but enough on shamelessly plugging my own research and channel, because this is actually the video that I referenced from last week. This was last Friday that I did this video. And the one thing that I said, well, there were a few things I said. First, let's lead with what I was wrong about. I did mention that I'm not sure how much longer tweets or posts will be able to move the markets. I was proven wrong on that, at least early in the week here in this week. But a couple of things I was right about. One is NIO is outperforming the SPY year to date. Also, I said, hey, I'm going to be tracking this. If the SPY dips down below $650, what is happening? And not just with the SPY, but also with NIO stock. How is NIO going to hold up if that happens? So let's go back over here now and discuss this just a little bit, because NIO, I'm going to go back to last year actually, because the drop for NIO coincided with, what do they call it? Some might reference it as a Liberation Day back in roughly early April of last year. And as we come up on the 1-year anniversary with the current downtrend of the SPY, I thought it was kind of fascinating to point this out. So this is the low from NIO back at that time. But I actually want to do this. Since I referenced year to date, let's stay a little focused on that if we can. This is your January 2nd date over here on the left-hand side. And by the way, I'm going to offer this before I forget. Last Friday night, after hours, there was a zero volume drop on the SPY, meaning there was no volume, but there was a significant drop that I noticed. And now I caught it over the weekend, and it looked like it was continued to the downside into the pre-market on Monday. Was this preset algorithmic trading? I don't know, but since I'm doing this video during the day, I want to make you all aware of that as something that I'm going to at least kind of take a peek at here over the weekend. Once everything is done here on Friday, I'll probably check it on Saturday. So anyway, I wanted to offer that. But now the NIO, and specifically the 3 short-term stock price indicators that have remained very telling over these last few years. You've got the trade volume. We have still only had a couple of days in this year of 2026 with 100 million plus trade volume for NIO stock in a single day during the day. However, both of those days were moves up. And then even with the volume dropping off after that, this is basically when the first one happened. And it came on the news of the profitability announcement and then the actual earnings call and the profits that were announced in that call and the breakdown from that. So with this, we're looking at a close on that previous day, which was February 4th, of $4.44. So NIO is still up about $1 from there. And then if we move over to this March 10th date, where the close the day before was at $4.94, we're obviously still holding up above that, even with downside bearish market pressure overall, and with trade volume for NIO being very low. The FTDs, I'll have an update on them probably late next week. So we'll cover that when we get them. But so this is NIO. And if we go from the close actually, let's go with the open since it's January 2nd, the beginning of this year. The open was $5.32. So NIO is getting perilously close to that level to the downside. I'm really a lot less concerned, frankly, with the NIO stock price action right now, especially with the volume having dried up so much. I'm a lot more concerned about this, which is why I wanted to talk about it again. Not a lot of folks saw the video last week. I'm hoping more will see this one because I called out that $650 level last week. And then I referenced this as kind of the point that I was watching, because if we see, or if, I said back then, if we saw this break down, I want to see not only what happens with the SPY. In other words, there's a lot more potential downside dating back to that Liberation Day time frame from last year. Kind of interesting, right? Coming up on that 1 year anniversary. So from here, since that level was obviously broken, and now we're down today, right now, the SPY is about $638. Even if we just look over here, and oh, by the way, before I forget, sorry, there's so much that I research and cannot possibly share. So when I think of things impromptu like this on the spot, I just share them. You see these drops here and these big volume spikes at the same time. We're talking like 150 million shares during the day or more. And that's consistent with the recent move down. And today, intraday, it's a little afternoon right now as I'm recording, and just over 42 million shares. So I actually personally consider this more bearish if it's lower volume and it goes down like this. Because the big volume days are when we have seen the SPY really drop in the last year or so. And this, of course, there were multiple days of that. So I just wanted to put that on people's radar in case it wasn't before. And by the way, now that we've gone below this, as you notice, we're already, the next level's down. I looked earlier this morning and remember seeing the 638 as one. So below there. What are we talking about? And I'm not promising this is going to happen. I'm just saying that's stuff I'm tracking. And along with that, I want to see how NIO holds up. So yeah, next level down, it looks like the 620s, maybe the upper 620s. Let's see. Again, I don't know. I'm just sharing the research as I dig it up. And I'm trying to offer a little bit more than I typically would, just because I think we're in a really compelling time right now. But let's do this now, because if we do the comparison, NIO compared to the SPY, just year to date, what are we looking at? This is your January 2nd day for the SPY. And it looks like the open was at $685 and some change. And it's obviously not performing as well as NIO. And so anyway, this is just stuff I nerd out on so much more than just this, but I know some of my viewers will appreciate the content. That's why I wanted to offer it and just share some of what I'm thinking along the way. It's going to be really interesting if we do see something, let's say, suspicious, like what I saw, last week with zero volume. I don't know how zero volume you have a move like I saw, but again, maybe it's a preset algo that's doing trading, or I don't know, but it looked like it carried over into the pre-market on Monday. So since this is Friday, I thought, hey, let me do this video, shout it out, call it out. Let's see what happens. Before I forget, the last few videos that I've done, I've had this happen, and I apologize in advance. It is not something I have control over, but I have seen at least 5, probably maybe closer to 10 different users or accounts where you all have left comments, and I've seen the comments and I click to respond to them, and then I can't find the comments. And so I think it's a YouTube glitch or issue, but I just wanted folks to know that I'm sorry, for whatever reason, I am seeing some of the comments, but can't reply to them. So if you're not seeing the comment or a response from me, I'm sorry, I don't control that. I hope if it's a glitch, it gets fixed in the near term. But either way, I wanted to mention that. And either way, I hope everyone has a safe and blessed weekend ahead. Let me get this video up and out. Let me check. Well, it doesn't matter how long it is. Oh yeah, I'm definitely doing timestamps just to make it convenient for you to consume the content. So thanks for sticking around to the end. I know some of you did. I'll see y'all again very soon.